Welcome to the Good Rookie Show. My name is Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all. And we are good rookies.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's the Good Rookie Show.
Yep.
So, for those who probably noticed, yes, I lost my voice, y'all. Okay. Bear with me this episode. All right. Your girl had way too much fun in Vegas for a bachelorette. Big up my homegirl T Young, soon to be Mrs. Wint. And so,
Mm,
as you know, being the maid of honor for him, I had a good old time. You
mm-hmm,
understand?
mm-hmm,
But what
mm-hmm.
happens in Vegas stays
Stays in
in Vegas.
Vegas.
Yes. So
You know the rules. You know the rules.
you know the rule. But I got little, you see, little skin, little tan up self here.
Mm,
So I'm so
mm-hmm.
excited. As you know, guys, we talk about sports and culture. We cover
Yep.
all the hot topics, and this week is no other. But as you, if for those who don't know this, we are based in Toronto, Canada. Okay, we're both in Toronto. T dot. We just had Caravana Fahim, right? Everyone was up there. Everyone saw Draymond, LeBron. I mean, a lot of celebrities were in town. But
Mm-hmm.
something came out, and I was like, wow, I'm not sure if Fahim was aware of this, but I feel like you were aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess the number one most valued franchise in the country of Canada at this time?
Good question.
Sports franchise.
Most valuable sports franchise in
Mm-hmm.
Canada, in the nation.
In the
I would
nation.
have, okay, so I would right away, I would go to hockey and I would think, just tell me that. Is it hockey? And then we can whittle
I
down these
can't tell
teams.
you. You have to guess
Oh
the
man,
franchise.
okay. I have a feeling it might be one that's unexpected, just because you're asking the question. So, but I would say, um, hockey, Leafs, Canadians, those storied franchises. Raptors, I don't see the Raptors as being the number one franchise. Blue Jays, I don't see. So most valued. I think this is a trick question, but I will land with most valued
It's a
question.
trick question.
Yeah. All right. Most valued is I'll go with the Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, Fahim, there's a new king, or should I say, there's a new king in town. It's a new
Mm-hmm.
kingdom in Canada, Fahim.
Mm,
And that kingdom does not
mm,
belong to hockey no
mm.
more.
Oh.
The most valuable franchise in Canada
Mm-hmm.
is our very own
Mm-hmm.
hashtag Raptor Spaces, the
Okay.
Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
the Toronto Raptors are now worth $2.2 billion with the growth of over 400% in the last decade.
Wow. Wow.
And of
Wow.
course, the Maple Leafs came in second
Oh, okay. All right.
at
I wasn't
1.8,
far
which is
off.
funny.
Hmm.
But the Maple Leafs is the most valued hockey franchise,
Oh,
and
okay.
Toronto Raptors passed them. You understand?
Hmm.
So, so they're 1.8 billion, and they grew up 80% from
Mm.
2012. Raptors
Okay.
grew 400%,
And you said
80%, 400%,
400%. Wow. And you
80%, 400%. Yo, and then after that, of course, is the Toronto Blue Jays. And this is why, listen,
hmm
the other Canadians, we're sorry, Toronto just has all the top franchises.
Good
Okay, it's not
point.
our fault. We're the most populated, get it, right? But the Blue Jays
So,
came in third they're at 1.7.
uh-huh.
They're only 0.1 billion below the Leafs, which I'm surprised about. Because you're like
Hmm.
the Blue Jays, okay.
Hmm.
But they've had 311% increase
Over that same time period?
over a decade. So
Okay.
The Raptors grew 400%,
Hmm.
Leafs grew over 300%, Maple
Hmm.
Leafs 80%.
Mm.
Hockey is like,
On the decline, definite.
mm-mm.
Um,
So what's your thoughts on these numbers, man? Again, shout out to the Gist CA run by women, okay, women broadcasting, women reporters, all women based. So big up to the Gist CA on actually posting this information, or else I wouldn't have known about it on the Sport Business News. What's your
mm.
thoughts on this, Raheem?
So, first of all, when you say about Toronto and having the three most top three, I I wouldn't have guessed that. So, shout out to Toronto for that. When you talk about the Raptors, and we're talking about a time frame last decade, I think it does actually make sense because Masai Ujiri's been with the squad for, I'm assuming, approximately a decade, right?
Yeah, about 9 to 10.
Now nine, 10,
He
right?
came in 2011 or
Some,
2013.
yeah. So we're closing in.
Yeah,
So, but
he
regardless,
came around that time.
you
Yeah.
know, since he's come to the franchise, he's totally responsible for turning it around. It's no coincidence, right? He made the moves to make this possible. And when you talk about the growth, even over, I guess, the last few years, we have to factor in the Kawhi factor and what that did with the championship run, and that made
Hmm.
everything more valuable. So, shout out to Raptors. That's a surprise. I had no. It's a pleasant surprise though, because that's actually speaking something too about basketball in Canada and its growth. So good one. Nice.
Yes, yes. So for
Mm-hmm.
those again, 400% growth theme, 30%. The fact that the Blue Jays grew so much, and
Mm-hmm.
baseball, they say it's a dying sport, but they've grew so much in the past decade, and I
Right.
think that's what they're marketing. They've gotten a lot more. They were actually in the playoffs a few times, and
Right.
I think they've had a lot of star talents coming in, especially pitchers. And then the fact the Raptors grew so much,
Mm-hmm.
who didn't even have any really. We had one superstar that came from here.
Mm-hmm.
We've had like perennial stars here, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that we've grown so much, that just means that basketball, there's lots of money in basketball right now, and I think it's just great to see. For us growing up in Canada, where
Mm-hmm.
basketball was nothing, now I think Fahim, I truly think the media is going to reflect this. We're going to see a lot more shows around basketball. I mean, you have to like
You
invest in
have to.
basketball now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what else can you
Right.
do? You
Right.
see America adding hockey to their ESPN and other broadcasting too. So I'm
Right.
curious to see what Canada is going to do now that basketball is number one and it is king.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited.
Nice. So keeping on brand, you're just talking about basketball being number one. We have another new entry into, um, I guess, entertainment. This is big news for those that can date back 20 years, but slam ball is back. It was popular back in the 2000s, a millennial sport. Did you watch slam ball back in the day, Nelly J?
I remember watching a little bit, but
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't like a
Mm.
avid slam
Oh,
ball. But I
yeah.
remember like
Yeah.
seeing like a few of it. But
Right. Yeah. So,
I'm surprised it's back. Like, what's your
yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah. So, yeah, few people are like avid because it lasted for about 2 years. But what made it exciting for those who maybe aren't familiar with slam ball, they're on trampolines. There's five players. They play for 20 minutes. And on trampolines, obviously on a trampoline, the idea is to obviously score, but there's different ways to score. You can score by shooting a jump shot off a trampoline, jumping, I don't know, 20 feet in the air. And also dunking was that's why ultimately the name slam ball. I'm really excited for this due to the fact that it was aired on Spike TV, I'm pretty sure back in the day. And while it was on Spike TV, it was seen as like a basketball alternative. It's more for entertainment. So having slam ball back 20 years later, I was reading that they're saying that the timing, obviously the timing couldn't be better with this, but what makes it interesting is right now everyone's in their phone and everything's about short form content. And to think that you're having slam ball that fits within a TV format, it's on 20 minutes. So they can have it in a half an hour show. Now is a perfect time for it to be even better timing than it was 20 years ago. So I'm excited, man, just to see. You don't have to have like obviously it's a high level what they're doing because to bounce around and dunk and play, there's a certain element of skill that you have to have, but man, slam ball coming back, I think it should be good. Shout out to TMZ Sports for breaking that one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's good for the sport of basketball, but I can see it being really big on social media.
Mm-hmm.
People like these like reels and these clips and these short videos. So I can just see like memes coming out of it. Like, I don't
Right.
know, different gifts coming out of it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
'cause, people are so creative on the internet with like sayings and stuff. So
Right.
I agree. I think it's a really good look, and um the timing is great because
Mm-hmm.
people like short, like people have ADD now. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
people can watch anything for too long. It's like
Right.
everyone, you know what I'm saying? So No, I think it's really dope that they're doing it. But so
Hmm.
I know plus people that I know were excited. They're like, "Oh my gosh, slam ball is back." I'm like, "Okay, like glad people are excited about this." Like when I saw him, oh, this is pretty cool. But I wasn't
Yeah.
like, "Ah," like that was kind of
uh,
cool.
yeah. So it's funny because slam dunk's obviously one of the most exciting plays in basketball, and with the dying of the slam dunk competition, as we know, like that's something we all hype for as of late. It's kind of people I've heard the conversation, people saying, you know what, we've seen all the dunks. Like how could you make up something new? We've seen it all.
Hmm.
With slam ball, I don't think you would have that problem because it's in the rhythm of the game. So what I like about it is you don't necessarily you can have a bunch of no-name guys. You don't need to know the players or even know the teams. You sit down and just watch them bouncing on a trampoline, passing, shooting, dunking. I just, you know what? I haven't seen it. That's how you know it's real because I watched it 20 years ago and I still have a vision of what I saw 20 years ago and I'm excited to see it again. So shout out to that definitely. Let me ask you this though with basketball, for instance, a slam dunk, do you, obviously the most exciting, like I was mentioning, but in regards to um, the WNBA, for instance, a lot of people, actually, I don't know a lot of people, but I've heard this conversation saying, you know what, maybe it would be a more exciting game if they were to dunk more. Now, mind you, I think, that's very kind of ignorant because the women's game is a lot, it doesn't need dunking. But do you think that maybe them having a co-ed would be a good idea? Like, not necessarily a woman, but just making slam ball co-ed. I think that would be the next level. No?
Yeah, I love that. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? It's because it's like being creative in dunking, right? Like jumping off
Mm-hmm.
a trampoline. I think it equates everything. But if you look at it, and I forgot what it's called. Sorry, ski fans. But like in skiing, in the
Mm-hmm.
Olympics, where they kind of go down, they go up, and they do like the fancy type
Oh yeah, I know.
moves.
What is that called? Is it
It's it's a T.
ski? No, I think it's ski jump actually.
It's ski
I'm pretty
jumping,
sure it's
but
ski
there's,
jumping. Okay.
there's actually a name for it though. It's an actual
Oh.
name. And I'm
Mm.
sorry for ski fans. Please correct me. I'm cool to be corrected. But
Right.
it kind of reminds me of that, like where you kind of ski and you kind of
Mm.
do all these whatever. But
Right.
that's still like men versus that's still a men Olympic sport,
Mm.
women Olympic sport. So even though I think it would be fair, I just think that's going to keep it separate. But I do hope they do have a women's sport division because I think it'd be
Mm.
fun. Like I think women
Yeah.
are dunking now, and I think they should have women also compete amongst
Mm-hmm.
themselves. Like why not? I think it's going to
Mm-hmm.
create a lot of buzz, and I can see the ladies being very creative
Mm-hmm.
in this as well,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Showing the skill set. So, I mean, I'm excited. I would say to have the ball smaller for the ladies. That's just my opinion because we have smaller hands. That's all. Not because we can't. It's just guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's the physics. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, yeah, I think it'd be great to have the women do a
Mm-hmm.
little slam dunking. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
So I don't know how to say this without being controversial because I see I'll start with this. Shout out to the big three. There's different lanes in basketball, and the big three have theirs locked down. Now that I've said that, if I had an option of say half an hour to watch the big three or slam ball, I'm watching slam ball.
Oh wow, really? It
Yeah.
depends who's playing in the big three though, because the big three has some
Okay.
good players. So
Definitely.
it just depends.
Definitely.
I won't. I'll say the big three for now, but I'll say slam dunk definitely would be more exciting because it is like dunking everyone. Who doesn't freaking love dunking? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I can see why you said that, but I think it's pretty close. But I
Yeah.
get it. It's older people playing big three. It's not. It's kind of like the
Yeah.
MLS of basketball.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get it. But I'll still pick big three. Ice
Okay.
Cube, I got your back, bro. I got
Yeah.
your back.
Yeah. All right. So Nelly J, you want to go to for the culture?
For the culture, we get to highlight individuals for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And today we get to highlight not just one, not just two, but three individuals that are for the culture. And I
Three,
mean, this
three,
is
three.
pretty cool. So,
Mm-hmm.
announced this week, Lewis Hamilton, who, as we know, is a Formula One champion, Grenada's own, right? He actually joins as a principal owner as a third black principal owner to join Denver Broncos. So
Mm-hmm.
Denver Broncos actually had two principal owners already, Condoleezza Rice and Mellody Hobson. Now this is pretty dope for him because I remember Denver Broncos had rumors last year saying Jay-Z might buy them, or
Right. Right.
the man from Amazon, I forgot his name, Lot of Mercy. You know what I'm talking
Uh,
about?
Jeff Bezos.
Bezos might buy them as well. But I'm seeing now that there's black owners coming into the NFL. And we've always talked about, and I've always said, like, me being a Broncos fan, I'm like, I just want to see some black ownership move in, only because it's something that I think is only fair. Now that there's ownership available in the NFL, those should be going to black people. That was just all my opinion.
Right.
So the fact that now there's three principal owners with the Denver Bronco ownership group, I think it's historic. I think it's incredible. And, I think someone reported that Hobson and Rice are the first two black women to own part of a team, but that's not true. Because I
Right.
know Serena Williams
Got
owns
it.
a part of
Right.
a team with Miami
And
Dolphins.
I think Venus. I think they're
And
both sisters.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay. Cool. Right.
Olia at the New York Times,
Hmm.
you can look up
Hmm.
on your Googles, look up your
Also,
Googles. Anyways,
also wasn't
yeah.
J Lo part of that also for some reason? I
Jill is
thought
also a
was
part
she?
owner
Okay.
of
Cool.
Miami
Cool.
Dolphins as
Right. Right.
well.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
there are other black women. I don't know
Hmm.
how New York Times missed it, unless Serena Williams stole I mean sold her shares and we didn't know.
Right.
But
Right.
I
Hmm.
know Serena and Venus are part owners of the Miami Dolphins. But anyway,
Hmm.
nonetheless, I don't mean to call it New York Times, but I'm just saying. Anyways, but yeah, Fee, what's your thoughts on these now three owners, black folks joining the ownership group for Denver Broncos?
Before I get to your question, I have a question myself
Mm-hmm.
because you mentioned earlier about the Broncos, your team, and shout out to you actually. Congratulations. No, seriously, that's your squad. So you must be over the moon right now. But I gotta say, so you have Denver, like you said, Jay-Z was a proposal before, Bezos before. So Denver was looking for ownership. I'm just wondering why, of all places, is Denver, Colorado, the one that they strategically seem like they look for minority ownership. Do you know why they chose Denver?
I'm not sure why,
Hmm.
but that was the only ownership that was looking that's selling. So the
Mm,
owner of Denver, he's selling off. Like he's trying to get out of like being an owner of the NFL team.
right. Okay.
So that's been known. Like the team has been on sale since last year.
Hmm.
So you know what I mean? And so I don't know if it's strategic, but it's what I was telling you about Fee. We spoke about Jay-Z's influence a couple of years ago. Folks
Hmm.
were hitting on Jay-Z. Why would he do this?
Hmm.
He's a sellout. And I was like, guys, some people gotta put pressure externally, and
Hmm.
some folks gotta put pressure internally, right?
Hmm.
How you win a battle, how you win a war, isn't by everyone looking from the outside in, right?
Hmm.
We need different people within and out of it to help
Right.
us. And I'm not saying Jay-Z was the one who orchestrated this, but the fact that the NFL is like, first of all, if you, I'm assuming they got approved to do this, whatever. But the fact that the owner of the Denver Broncos is allowing for these guys to purchase or be part or become owners, that just tells me that the NFL is moving in the right direction. Whether that goes to Goodell, goes to Jay-Z, or the other wonderful people that are working at the NFL as advocates of black ownership. I don't know all their names. I just think it's a
Hmm.
great look,
Hmm.
right? It's a great look. So, but yeah, it's something where we need this, right? We need
Hmm.
this. So it is what it
No,
is.
most definitely. Now with actually, I'm gonna put some respect on his name. Actually, he's actually Sir Lewis Hamilton. Apparently,
Yes,
he's
that's
been
true.
knighted. Yeah, so
That's
let's,
true,
let's put some respect on his name.
sir.
Um,
But to be
oh,
honest, I don't really look at I don't look at that country's like royalty family. I don't care about them. That's why,
okay, okay.
yeah, I don't really. She ain't my queen, so no offense.
um, yeah, so it with this ownership group, so the three of them, I don't associate them with football in any way. So I think that's kind of cool that they looked outside the box, chose people of influence. Obviously, Condoleezza right for sure. Um, Lewis Hamilton was, I guess, a real surprise due to the fact that not from a financial standpoint, because we know he could afford to be in those conversations. Just in racing, I just never, there was nothing, especially him being from, overseas. There's just no, I didn't get the connection of America's pastime of being the NFL. So I don't know if he actually has a passion for the sport. I'd be interested to find out, you know, as a owner, I'm pretty sure they're going to get to it in the future of if it's more for business or if he like, has any interest in the NFL, you know?
Hmm. It kind of reminds me of when LeBron got part owner
Mm,
in the, like I
in
just think that,
Liverpool, right?
yeah,
Okay.
and MJ, like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
think that when you're in that, when you have that lot of money,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's smart to invest in sports. It's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money, especially the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Sports have a lot of power, and we talk about a lot of the, a lot of the athletes are black
Mm-hmm.
in NFL, and I think Lewis Hamilton, being self-conscious of his people across the globe, it's like if I can advocate for my fellow, black athletes in America, why wouldn't I?
Of
Right. So I
course.
just think it's another power play, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in Europe, LeBron going there's lots of racism in Europe, and LeBron as a part owner, seeing
Mm-hmm.
a black person be part owner of a football team or a soccer team, that's huge
Mm-hmm.
for these kids to look up and go, wow, owners can be look like us. I think it's inspirational, to be honest, and I
Of
think
course.
it just shows that you can invest money across the globe. The world's
Mm-hmm.
getting smaller,
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
smaller. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? So yeah, but to your point, I think it's a bit of both, a bit of money or business, and a bit of, hey, why not? Like, why not advocate? Why not be a part of this company? And I think for the NFL, Faheem, it's a smart move
Of
because the
course.
NFL is trying to expand globally.
Mm-hmm.
So having an international star like Lewis Hamilton being a part owner, that's free advertising. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
and Formula One's a massive sport. There's like they're
Mm-hmm.
like to watch a Formula One. It's just
Mm-hmm.
millions of people watch it. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why they watch it. I mean, no offense, but
Right.
watching it,
Yeah.
I can't watch the entire one. But hey, they have so many fans, that
Mm-hmm.
fully follow them. So yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah. Let me piggyback your point for a moment, where you're saying about it being global. You're right about Lewis Hamilton having a reach over in Europe. People in Europe knowing, okay, they obviously know about the NFL, but maybe don't have an emotional attachment to a team. Um, Broncos could be that, but also keep in mind, you just got Russell Wilson, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Right. So you have a high profile Black QB also.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like Denver, and that's why my original question was like, why Denver, Colorado? There seems like of when I think of cities, I don't exactly see Denver, Colorado as any type of melting pot. You know what I'm saying culturally,
Yeah.
but they definitely for football um, are all about the culture. So shout out to
Yeah,
Denver, Colorado, and the
absolutely.
Broncos for sure.
Shout out to my team. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Denver Broncos.
All right, so Nelly J, let's go to that's absurd.
That's absurd. Fahim, bro. What was absurd this week? What was absurd?
Zion Williamson has signed a contract. Shout out to Zion Williamson
Congrats,
with
getting
that contract
paid.
and getting, yes, definitely. But there was a clause in his contract, which is very interesting, and it has to do with weight and keeping his weight at a certain limit. Um, that being into your contract, I'm, I'm not saying it hasn't happened before. I've never heard of it, especially on that level where you're at a superstar type level. So I'm going to go with just having to include a weight clause in your contract. Absurd.
Absurd. It's absurd, but it's smart as fuck. Sorry, I don't want to swear. It's absurd, but it's smart as hell. Okay, smart as
Mm-hmm.
hell, Fahim. Honestly, like, I don't blame them. Zion, I'm giving you so much money, bruh. I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving you yo, bro. I'm paying you so much money. I need to ensure that my investment is protected. Because last season, Fahim, if Zion was playing with Bi, how he was balling with CJ McCollum, they could have actually made a push to the
Of
playoffs.
course. Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could
Mm-hmm.
have. I'm not saying they've gone far, but having Zion there, you know what I'm saying? JV is a great player, good role player, but Zion is a star. Like he could be a
Mm-hmm.
superstar of the league. So I don't blame them. Like you want this money, you better come out here fit. And I think if I'm Philadelphia, I'm gonna put that for Harden too. You know what? For a lot of these people who honestly, like real talk, like I think it should be added only because you're being paid to be an athlete. That's why. Like you're not getting paid to like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like, you're getting paid to not be fit. Like you would think
Mm-hmm.
being a basketball player, you will consciously stay fit, but for some people, clearly that is not enough. So if I gotta put it in a clause for you to get this paper, and who knows, maybe Zion was like, yo, put it in there. Cause sometimes people because who knows, maybe he's like, you know what, I need discipline. I need
But I need motivation to stay away from the
Hey,
buffet.
listen, food is good, man. Listen, I love me some food too, Zion. I love me some food too,
Uh,
brother. So I hear you, sir. So sometimes you're like, you know what? To control my yearning, of some southern food,
Mm-hmm.
you'll put it in there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's absurd that you have to do it, but I respect it, and he signed it. So hey,
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely. Also, since we're talking about contracts and clauses, did you hear about Kyler Murray's clause in his contract?
yeah, but they removed it after.
Did they?
I
Okay.
believe they moved it after. Yeah, I remember he
Okay.
commented saying like, "Oh, like don't worry about what I do and blah blah blah." But
Uh-huh.
I think like Arizona was like, "We're not gonna investigate, not remove it, but we're not gonna investigate."
Okay, so
Like
for anyone who's not aware,
yeah,
there's a film room type clause to say that he during the season he has to attend uh, film study of plays that players normally do every week anyway to prepare for the next game. But it's the fact that they felt they need to put that clause in there to his
yeah. So they did.
contract.
Mm-hmm. And
You
so
know,
Faheem, I confirmed they did remove it, the film
they
study
did.
clause. Yeah,
Okay.
they removed it, and it was
Mm-hmm.
so funny because it came out, and I was like, who would actually talk about this? But
Mm-hmm.
it just showed you how Kyler has a lot of power there because he's like, don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about what I be doing, and it's
Mm-hmm.
removed. So
Just the fact that it has to be in the first place, especially him being a black QB, it's just not a good look, I don't
it is
think.
there, and a
For
QB, all QB study plays, man. Come on,
right, right.
that's like very like I don't know. It's like, hey, make sure you brush your teeth in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you wipe
Hmm.
your bum when you take a dumber too.
Hmm.
Like, come on, man. He's doing that, yo. Like, we ain't gotta add that in the clause. But Zion, you better put that chicken bone down. Understand?
So, I'm gonna have faith in Zion that he's gonna hit
Oh
that
yeah,
weight because imagine if he doesn't hit the weight.
he's gonna hit it, man. Listen, now that
Okay,
it's in a
okay,
clause, but now that's in paper, it's gonna force him. And guess what? He signed that. He understands. Like he missed, but for him, the man missed a year because he ate too much.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And he got paid. He got paid for him.
true.
You got paid a whole year. But I just think people listen. I'm a Zion fan. I think he's gonna come back real aggressive, and he's gonna be playing amazing. I don't know what. I just think that he's gonna come back. Like
Mhm.
after he did that kind of like 360 dunk from walking up, whatever he did the other
Right.
day. I was like, this guy's ready. The NBA
Well,
better be fearful. You better put on some weight, y'all, because he looks healthy and he looks like he's like a monster on the court.
so just on the way out, let's give some context to what's in the contract. So the contract goes, he's required to keep his weight and body fat to add up to less than 295 pounds.
Oh, that's doable for him. Because now I think he's like two. I think he's like 280 something now. So that's fine.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
he's got 15 pounds to play with.
Shut up. Oh man,
Use
Zion.
them
I
wisely.
I have faith in Zion. Zion, I know you're gonna. Zion, it's okay, bro. Boo boo. I know. I know you're not gonna lose your money. Your money's no, he's gonna play. He'll be fine. Being like he has 15 plus error to go. Like no, just
Uh,
just listen. Zara has so much money for him. He can have
mhm,
a personal chef that can
mhm,
make him really good, healthy, tasteful food that will
mhm,
make him like feel like he's filled, but healthy as
mhm.
hell. Trust me, he'll be fine. Just hire a cook. No home cooking from mama. Actual hire a chef. A lot of athletes have personal chefs for him. I'm sure he'll be okay.
Uh-huh. Okay. Enough said. Let's put this episode in the books, Nelly J.
That's episode. Well, I should say that's a good rookie
That's a good
show.
lurky show. That's right.
That's episode rookie show. But y'all, honestly, as you know, we like to close out the show by giving a shout out, right? So I guess my shout out for this week for him, it's actually pretty cool. I saw something. Actually, it was so funny. It was going to be the Broncos ownership group, but you took that away from me, which is fine. So my other shout out is going to be on let's see, who do I want to shout out this week?
While you're doing that, let me
Yeah,
just throw my shout out real quick. I want to
yes.
shout out Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
We were just talking about overseas, Lewis Hamilton, Europe. Cristiano Ronaldo, he makes more money on Instagram than that in a year than he does actually playing soccer. $40 million a year off IG, more than what he's making on the
Whew,
field. Shout out to
wow.
Cristiano
Well,
Ronaldo.
I mean, I think he has the most followers out of any
Followers.
athlete in the world.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, I think him and Messi are the top two
Mm,
athletes.
Hmm.
So I found my shout out because I screenshot it, but my shout out goes to Alfonso Davies. So
Mm.
Alfonso Davies is going to be donating his entire salary that he's making in the World Cup earnings to charity. So I read that
Wow.
earlier this week. He pretty much quoted saying that Canada, sorry, he tweeted, Canada welcomed me and my family and gave us the opportunity for a better life. It enabled me to live my dreams. It's a great honor to play for Canada, and I want to give back. So I've decided that I will donate this year's World Cup earnings to charity.
Wow. So,
So big up
hmm,
to Alfonso Davies.
definitely. And yeah, shout out to him for that. And it also says something that he can actually afford to do that. You know, his contract at Bayern Munich is obviously
Oh yeah, massive.
enough for, yeah, so he can look at, but it's good that you know, he could have been doing other things with those earnings he
Yeah,
got from the World Cup. The fact that he's doing the charity, shout out to Alfonso Davies, no
exactly.
doubt, no doubt. All right.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks. That's a good rookie show.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So, y'all, if you had a good time, enjoyed yourself, please like, subscribe. Shout out to Catch Card and tell a friend to tell a friend. Faheem.
We're on all platforms if you're looking for us. That's a good rookie show. Hope to see you next time when we out.
Peace.
Peace.